So, de rijders maken zich klaar voor de eerste heat. Het signaal wordt gegeven.
So hello and welcome to the UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Cup round number 3, coming to you from the amazing city of Valkenswaard in the Netherlands. This home of the Equestrian Centre, the top international equestrian centre, as well as being the foundation of falconry across Europe, is going to play host to some exciting cross-country bike racing, all brought to you in the town square underneath St. Nicholas Church. And we are really looking forward to seeing how our riders are doing after 3 rounds, because this, the 3rd round, means our riders have been competing and have been racing against each other internationally for the last few weeks, and it does mean that the riders are definitely going to be feeling the effects of the racing. Now, for XCE, it's a town centre race. We have laps of a 400-metre course. Our riders are seeded by their qualification time in a 1-lap time trial, and that means that the riders have to be able to get around the course quickly to get the best position and the best seed in the heats. Once that happens, they then have to race in a knockout format, 2 riders going through in each round and moving forwards. Anyone who isn't qualifying, well, it's game over, and they're not going to be racing anymore that day until we get to our finals, where we have a minor and a major final. Now, riders have already done our qualifications here today out on this course, and they've had a look at exactly how the track is running, and that means that they can get dialed in all of these fantastic features. Now, we can't bring a mountain into a town. What we can do is really test our riders' skills, and our riders have been out on the course checking out the rollers, the waves, the safety jogger step up. We've got the Red Bull wall. We've also, of course, got the new feature, which is the rock garden. And this, for anyone who goes rock climbing, you'll know that if you go to indoor walls, you get a load of indoor holds. And as those holds take the effect, they are usually on the wall that you climb up. This time our rider's got to ride over. But enough of me telling you about it. Let's go down to our riders, and we've got Ella Holmgaard out on the track here, showing us exactly what we've got in store.
Hello everyone, my name is Ella Holmgaard. Let's come along on the track in Valkenswaard for the 3rd round of the UCI Eliminator World Cup. We are on the start and finish straight. That's pretty long, and then we come directly to the first obstacle. Still will be a pretty fast race until here, where we have to be 1 by 1 around the Red Bull corner, coming up to the newest obstacle of the course. That is our rock garden here. Going over, and then a wide turn up to the safety jogger. And then we have the last obstacle, double jump, into a pretty wide last left corner, where it will be important. And then the last pretty short finish straight, where we will sprint for the win. And that's the course. Thank you for joining.
So an excellent video there, and it shows you just what our riders have to deal with. Now, for the time trial, they cover 1 lap. For the heats and the knockout heats running into the finals, they have to complete 2 laps in each race. We've had some exciting racing today already with some interesting results in the women's race field. It's been fairly predictable. In the men, it hasn't, and that means that it's going to be really fast. So we're into the quarterfinals. And remember, the quarterfinals, these are our first 4. Heat number 1, 2 riders through. We've got Anton Birat, Jeroen van Eck, the European champion, a Singapore rider, Luckman, who gets a good start out from the gate, kicking on there, along with Milan Gins in the green jersey, trying to get on the turns with them. It's the European champion, Jeroen van Eck, and Van Eck, what's the fastest qualifier, seeded number 1. He has the number 1 plate onto that wall right, coming around that turn. Really fast indeed. Now into towards the safety jug of the rock garden. We saw this shaking things loose on Ella Holmgaard's bike. No problems onto the safety jogger. Jump up, and this is a step up. Hit it fast enough, you're going to take air. And Luckman almost overcooks it there. That was a bad move. He went up, he styled it up, and almost messed it up on the landing. Now he's got to really push on here. He's got to close down the gap now, because you can just see Anton Birat at the moment is on the heels here of Jeroen van Eck. Remember, this is 1 lap done, 1 more lap left to go. 2 riders through to qualify, and at the moment Luckman is really trying to push it. You see the pace they go. The 2 leaders go straight over and clear the gap in between the lower step up and the drop down, and you can just see the pace of those leaders is different. They're able to clear the obstacle so much further than the chasing riders behind, and at the moment it looks to me like Jeroen van Eck is going to get a good run through. Now we saw Jeroen van Eck go out in the qualifying in the last round. No such problems so far. Up over that double again, Luckman doing some great styling it up over there, almost landing to flat, which is a really destructive way to land. It can really ruin the bike, but at the moment you see they're looking over the shoulder. It's quite a short run in. Now we're going to wait for confirmed results, but at the moment it looks to me like Jeroen van Eck and Anton Birat are going to go through, and it's going to be Riyad Luckman and Milan Gins who are taken out of the competition after heat number 1. And we'll get confirmation of that very shortly. Now, you've seen the track, it's super fast, super quick, and this is really a good feature. This wave feature shows just how fast it is, with Van Eck and Birat, who have qualified, clearing the gap, the other 2 being taken out of contention. So here we go, quick start here, and you can just see how fast the 2 riders on the right hand side of the track, they were moving. They just got into the lead, able to clear through, and that's where we saw Luckman really mess up that landing coming off the first of the safety jogger features. And you've got to get this right. So Luckman goes up, quickly pops up onto the top, but you can see by now Gins and Luckman on lap 2 well and truly out of the running. And what you want is an easy heat. Remember, these riders are going to be racing up to 5 times to get through to the final, so you've got to recover and you've got to be ready. Okay, on to heat number 2 here at the XCE, the Eliminator. Gegenheimer, the series leader. He's going to be the man that everybody wants to beat now. Simon Gegenheimer has got the number 4 plate on with the white jersey, and at the moment he's dropping into the right-hand side. Gegenheimer's getting pushed out of contention at the moment. He's dropped back into position 3, and this is going to make a big change now around the turn at the top. Who's going to be able to pull this in? Who is going to be able to bring this back? They come down the left-hand side there of the course, and it looks to me like this is a fantastic ride being done by Quentin Schwarzenberg. Can he hold on to this? Gegenheimer at the moment in 3rd wheel. The series leader is in danger of being knocked out. He's trying to make a move up on the side there. He's trying to close on Eddie Stiebel. Stiebel at the moment just continues to push really hard here, and you can just see this battle for this 2nd place position is a real fight, and it means that our leader, and that's Quentin Schwarzenberger, is opening the gap. Now here he comes. Gegenheimer makes a move. He goes around the outside there of Stiebel. Stiebel's not going to give that up easily, but Stiebel now having to defend that 3rd place in this group. So here they come round that turn. Now Schwarzenberger has company, and remember, if you go through in the lead. If you take the win in your heat, you get a better position in the next round. So it's not just about qualifying, it's about taking top spot. But neither of these two leaders can relax here, because you can just see behind everybody's trying to push up, everyone's trying to close, and Gerhard now pushing in the red. He's trying to get back on terms. Time is running out though. He's got to get in and challenge it onto the finishing straight here. Big sprint here by Schwarzenberger, throwing the bike all over the place. Gegenheimer not wasting energy, looks behind, and subject to confirmation, we should be seeing Quentin Schwarzenberger and Simon Gegenheimer going through into the final. Some fantastic racing there. Will they go through? Remember, all of the racing is watched by the judges, and we're going to see if they agree with what's happened. They are watching to see if there's any contact, if there's any untoward pushing and shoving on the way round, because obviously that's really dangerous. They want to see fair play. As we go over here, you can just see that Schwarzenberger start very, very quick, but Gegenheimer's always watching. He's looking. He didn't panic. He managed to make that move up on the outside as it came into lap number 2. And that means it should be Schwarzenberger and Gegenheimer going through, subject to confirmation by our judges. Now we're going to move on to heat number 3, or this will be our next heat. Now this is Klausman, Olstam, Castellano-Yolo and Hibby. Olstam here, fast starter. He was absolutely superb last round when we were over in Oudenaarde. Can he repeat that this time around? But a fantastically quick start there by Felix Klausman. Klausman in the white there of Germany, getting incredibly quick at the inside of the bend is that right-hand lane, and Klausman at the moment in front of Olstam as these riders come in and through, and you can just see the rider there, they're just clipping the face of the jump as he comes up, and that is really, really going to do the bike damage if he's not careful. It slows the pace down, it takes so much speed, it's scrubbing it off the bike. But at the moment, leading out is Klausman, and then it's Olstam, and Olstam just takes a little look on the inside here. He won't want to give away the lead too easily. He won't want to expend too much energy, but they've got to stay clear of the riders behind who are really pushing on here to try and close that gap down. But at the moment, you can see Anton Olstam, the second fastest rider in qualifying, being led out here by Klausman, but there's a squeeze coming. They're trying to close that gap down behind. Can anybody pull the gap back here? So up over the top, and you see rider number 3 having to manual his way in through the group there, trying to get himself back in with the rest of the field, but it is really difficult now. That gap is continuing to open. Klausman continues to put the pressure on. Are we going to see a move by Olstam coming into the safety jogger? This is actually a step. There's a big gap off that yellow and black up face. It steps up. You get that wrong, it can tip you right over the bars. However, no problems for our leaders. A quick look over the shoulder there by Olstam, the rider in the red shoulders with the dark black and blue shorts and mid-drift, and at the moment you just see Klausman just takes a look back, not doing too much, and he rolls in over the line. So it should be a Klausman coming through with Olstam, and then Noyolo and Hibbing, the 2 riders who will come through behind. Noyolo going through in 3rd place, and Hibbing, I think at the moment, just really feeling the pressure there. So watch this start. Klausman, it takes a front wheel off the floor there. He's absolutely nailing it. Goes through onto the step up, quickly launches it, and Olstam loses a bit of speed there by going up really high. The higher you go, the slower you're going to go, because you're using energy to get height and not to go across and cover distance, and that can be expensive. But Olstam clearly content with 2nd place, not contesting that sprint too much. So 3 of our heats done, and in heat number 3, it was indeed Felix Klausman who goes through with Anton Olstam of Sweden. On to heat number 4. And heat number 4, this is our 4th of our quarterfinals. Now we've got Fierro from Ecuador, Bitterbier from Belgium, Rika from Germany, and Geroli from Hungary. Who is going to go through? Big favourite here has to be Bitterbier. He is quick, he's fast, he has that number 3 plate as the 3rd fastest qualifier. Oh, problems there for Garrity, he couldn't get settled there on the start line, but he's got a good start here, and they're all the way across the track here. It's going to be a real fight in. Bitterbeer's got the inside line and looks to have pushed across just in front there, so Bitterbeer in the black are currently leading out onto the wall, but they're not giving it to him by any stretch of the imagination. Around that slight right kick onto the wall riders, they come back round. They're going to take the right turn up onto the rock garden, into the safety jogger rock garden they go, and Bitterbeer, you just see the bike bouncing about underneath him. So at the moment, Bitterbeer going in at a good pace here. It looks like he's going to be going in and through. If he can hold position, it is Eric Fierro at the moment who is sitting in second place. And it looks like Ecuadorian is going to qualify if he can hold that position. These two riders pulling out a gap here. So this is the end of lap 1 of 2. And at the moment, it's Bitterbeer from Fierro behind them. You can see everybody is chasing. They're trying to close the gap down. They've got to get this down. They cannot leave it until the last corner because it's a very short finishing straight. And Fierro just moving up there, trying to take a little bit of a bite out of Bitterbeer as they go round the corner, takes a look on the side. He's right on his slipstream, and that wall ride has allowed the two chasers to move up here. They're starting to close the gap down. Have they left it too late though? Bitterbeer holds his line, takes a little bit of a look behind, as does Fierro. They know that they're coming. They'll hear them as they hit the ramps as they go up over the top. And that was a very, very questionable line there by Fierro. As he came off the ramp, he landed down and cut across the front of Bitterbeer, and that's pushed Bitterbeer into the danger zone. So Fierro's going to come through here. If he can take this, it's going to be a great ride by the Ecuadorian. He has to sprint though, and Bitterbeer not giving it to him. And nobody can relax at all in heat number 4. What a ride by all 4 riders. And I have to say, that is a quality ride there, because we saw Eric Fierro, the rider who qualified in 6th place. You can see him on the left-hand side of your screen. He got a phenomenal start off here. Bitterbeer then took the lead, but Fierro was not going to stay there. He kept on having a look. He had a look. He had a look. He kept on trying to take a bite. He eventually went round him and held it all the way to the line. That was a quality ride, and that it could, though, take its toll. So at the moment, it is going to be Eric Fierro of Ecuador going through with
Matt,
Jay
we have
Bitterbeer
Eric Fierro
of
from
Belgium.
Ecuador here, qualifying for the semis. Eric, what a great race.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. It's too hard. The level is so hard. But it's... I feel so good. I feel so good to start here and qualify the semifinals.
Because already in Oudenaarde we saw that you were closing the gap, and I thought if he can push a little bit harder, he'll be in the semis, and here you are.
Yeah, I try to pass the final. All the riders is in the same level, and I try. I push all the race.
Okay, good luck in the semis. Congratulations. Matt, the word is back to you.
Fantastic interview there by Jan, thank you very much. And you could see he was closing all the way. He's feeling good, and he's going to be buoyed by that success as he came through. That was a great ride by him to close the gaps down, to overtake and to drop down into position. And that takes a lot of energy, but that success is really going to push him forwards as he moves on to the semi-finals. So 1 or 2 surprise riders are joining the big favourites in the racing. Now, the quarterfinals of the men's, a really fast race, and really interesting to see just how quick they were going. Now come our women. Now it's 2 through from these, the semi-finals, to go through into the final. We've got Schwarzenberg on the left. The rider in the white is Gaia Tolmena, the rider who swept all before, the European champion. Then we've got Didi de Vries, the Dutch woman at the moment, trying to squeeze aboard into 3rd place here. Now Gaia Tolmena has a ferocious turn of pace. She's not only fast, but she's technically superb, and she really does enjoy riding the bike, racing the bike and throwing the bike all over the place. And we're going to see that if she can establish a gap, she'll start it, but at the moment the gap is opening. It's not enough to take any chances though. Quickly over there and lifts the front wheel to stop it from getting bounced about. Nice technique as she goes into the safety jogger. Step up, quickly up onto the top, not wasting any height there, and then onto the doubles and quickly over the doubles. And you can see Gaia Tolmena clearing the doubles, and behind you can see Didi de Vries having to roll away through there, really not carrying the same pace, the same speed, and that has cost her time. Every time you do that, you're going backwards compared to the rider in front. You can see the team there just showing the indication that Gaia Tolmena of Italy, the European champion, of the gap that she's got. Now up and over the wave they go at the moment, and this looks like it is going to be Schwarzenberg who's going to be taken in to the minor final. So the riders are going to be on the way through very quickly here. You can see Gaia Tormena looking good. She's coming round towards the halfway point on lap 2. She takes a massive look around. So Gaia Tormena, Didi De Vries behind Didi, just closing in on the wheel of Tormena here. So Tormena just easing off, wanting to save some energy for the later final. At the moment she's going to go through to the main final, as is Didi De Vries. Is De Vries going to just roll on the way in here? I think it's going to be close as they go over the line. That could well go to De Vries here, and that is not reflective of the pace in that final. It means De Vries is going to get the better line and going out of the main final into the fight for the minor places goes Schwarzenberg of the Netherlands. You could just see just how quick this start was by Gaia Tormena. Quickly in, lifts the front wheel up over. She clears about 2/3 of that rock garden with the front wheel, and that means that when she lands it, she's got to place it really well. If it bounces around too much, she's going to be in trouble, but no problems at all. And we're going to go across, I think, Jan trying to grab a quick word with Gaia Tormena and with Schwarzenberg, Didi De Vries. Let's see who Jan can grab hold of. I think it's going to be Didi De Vries.
Well, it's Didi De Vries. I called Matt. Didi, it looked as if you were saving energy in the end.
Yeah, in the end I was saving energy because I saw Shimano was a bit behind. So I thought I could save some energy for the final.
Last week you told me I'm going to work this week to close the gap. What do you think in the next round?
I don't know. I hope for a little bit more. So yeah, we'll see.
And you're on home ground. It would be fantastic.
That would be awesome.
Okay, good luck and congratulations with the qualifications for the final. Matt, back to you.
Well, thank you, Jan. And she certainly was looking like her and Gaia Tormena were backing off there as they came in towards the finish. They knew they'd done enough to qualify to go into the main final, and they were easing back, and certainly seeing Didi De Vries getting more and more at home as she's riding more and more of these races. And that is going to make a big difference as we move into the World Championships, which are coming up, and of course the rest of the rounds of the World Cup. Remember, the World Cup continuing through to Winterberg, Seneman, Barcelona, and then heading across into the Middle East as well, with that's the World Championships in a couple of weeks' time. Now, second of the semi-finals, you've got Fromberger, Gard, and Luiga. Who's going to take this? Hongard and Fromberger, the firm favourites here. Riders number 2 and 3, Fromberger in the red jersey, Hongard in the blue, and being set off towards the left-hand side of the track, and that gives Hongard a slight advantage here. But it does mean if she leaves the door open, she could get taken from behind here. But at the moment, it is Fromberger, Marion Fromberger, who was absolutely flying last week in Oudenaarde, who has taken the lead. Remember, Ella Holmberger covering the lap for us in that track practice. The riders around that corner nice and smoothly. At the moment, Marion Fromberger opening up a gap here. So Fromberger from Germany just opening the gap on Ella Holmgard from Sweden, and it is the Netherlands rider. So it is going to be Luenga who is just being distanced. So the riders quickly over the top, and at the moment Fromberger is making this look easy. She has got the measure of this course. That bike stripped right down as light as possible, and with some tyres right down at the minimum width by the look of them as they go through. So it's minimum width tyre to try and keep them down and keep that rolling resistance down, get enough grip to get around the corners, to get over the obstacles. And at the moment, these two riders in the lead, Fromberger and Hongard, are going to go through. Are they going to be content? They can't afford to relax too much. If you ease off too much and you have a problem, you have one mistake, we've seen riders slide out, you'll be taken out of contention. You want to try and leave yourself enough room so that you can get back up, so that you can maybe kick on the floor. But these are riders at the moment we've treated to some good conditions. It's nice and dry at the moment in Valkenswaard, and certainly looks to me like Hongard just pushing up on the side there of Fromberger, wanting to make sure that they don't relax too much. Hongard will get the better listen to the track surface, to listen to the chasing rider Luenga. But Luenga out of the saddle and sprinting, but it's going to be to no avail, and we are going to see Hongard, who fist bumps Fromberger, come through and across the line. So two riders through, and at the moment I think this is going to set us up for a fantastic final. Watch this start by Fromberger and Hongard. Hongard quickly kicking on the inside, but Fromberger head down, not even looking where she's going. She's just burying itself to get into that first corner quickly. Up over the rock gardens, no problems at all, and then dropping down and on over the doubles, dropping in around the corner, and Fromberger certainly made that look easy. And I think we've got both riders down with Jan at the moment. So Jan, how are our riders doing?
Matt, normally we do an interview with the winner, but in this case they came together over the finishing line. So we take them both. Marion, what fantastic sports we see going hand in hand over the finish line.
Yeah, it's cool. It was fun on the track, and I think we did a good job together. And yeah, it was fun here in Holland, Netherlands. Sorry, it was super cool to race here.
Ella Holmegaard, we have the usual suspects in the big final.
Yeah, it's like us girls that normally is in the big final, and it really shows what a high standard we have. No matter which other girls like from other disciplines that are with, we still like do a good race, all of us.
And a little secret I'm gonna tell you, Matt. She told me earlier that when she gets mom and stops riding a bike, she wants to be a sports commentator. So let's keep an eye on her, girls. Congratulations with this qualification for the final, and see you later today. Bye bye. Matt, back to you.
Oh, thank you very much, Shannon. And if she talks as well as she rides, she's going to have a bright future talking behind the microphone as well. And great to see the sportsmanship between our riders. It is really important. These riders will be fighting it out, and they are literally elbow to elbow out and round the track. However, when they are on the side of the track afterwards, they are friends. They generally don't fall out too much, but you do get rivalries, and you do get some riders who won't talk to each other as they come through. But I think all of our men are going to be focused on their own game at the moment and their own preparation as we move into the semi-finals. This is the first of those semi-finals. We have Quentin Schwarzenberger on the left-hand side, Jeroen van Eck, the European champion, the series leader Gegenheimer, and Anton Birat on the right-hand side, who's been incredibly quick. So the whistle goes. Who's going to have the fastest start here? Gegenheimer and Jeroen van Eck in the centre of the screen are going at it, and at the moment they are side by side, and it looks to me like it is going to be Jeroen van Eck, the rider with the #1 plate, the fastest in that time trial, is quickly up and over, but they're being challenged. Big push on the right hand side, and Gegenheimer putting a big lead on there. You could just see that shoulder dipping there as he came in. He wasn't going to let the door open and get in there super fast, and it is side by side. We do see the riders take each other out, and then somebody who's in fourth place can move through. Let's see if we're going to have a clean race into the finish. The commissaires, the race referees will be watching these riders as they come out and around, and at the moment it is the European champion Jeroen van Eck, who had a disastrous set of races. He came through super fast in the time trial. He couldn't get through to the finals. Last round, he's not wanting to make that same mistake. He's kicking down Gegenheimer, the series leader, with that white jersey in the UCI series leaders jersey on his back with the red right on his heels, but they cannot relax because Anton Birat is really going to push here. And interestingly, Quentin Schwarzenberger, who did such a great ride in the quarterfinals, not putting in the same sort of ride here in the semi-final. Now onto the rock garden. And interesting to watch these riders really pushing down on those bars, keeping the grip into the safety jog. A step up, flying up onto the top, and that was nearly a mistake there by Gegenheimer, who's on the right hand side. He's making that little bit of a move up on the inside of Jeroen van Eck. So all of a sudden now Gegenheimer goes round. He's not got far to go to defend that lead going into the final. They want a good position as he goes in, and they're under pressure here. They could lose this. They can't afford to relax. Oh, so tight there. Now, who took that? Will it be Van Eck or Gegenheimer? I think it's likely to go to Van Eck from Gegenheimer with getting eliminated, but that was incredibly close. Let's watch that again. So fast start off from the line, and Quentin Schwarzenberg, the one rider who really looked like he got the anchors on, and he kicks out at the start, unable to stay with these three leaders, and that looks like it is going to be Birat who is going to be out here. Couldn't equal the pace of the front two, who was shoulder to shoulder on the way round. Very, very close indeed, and it is confirmed. Jeroen van Eck, the European champion, leading from Simon Gegenheimer across the line there, and they are the two riders going through. Let's hear from the European champion, who's down with Jan.
Okay, Jeroen van Eck, you were last week, you were a bad luck guy. Today it was better, and I saw you almost licking this stop of the Red Bull turn.
Well, yeah, it went fast. I mean, I had Simon in my back wheel, and he was pushing, and I was pushing up well, making it a hard race. And yeah, looking forward to the big final. I mean, will be a tough one on this track.
You two had it under control. That was clear.
Yeah, after the first lap, I could see we have a little gap, so we could control the race from there on. So it was good.
Okay, see you in the big final today. Jeroen van Eck, back to you, Matt.
Yeah, a much happier rider this time round. He wouldn't even talk to anybody at the end of the racing last time. This time round, much happier and carrying so much pace around that track. Will he be the man to take the victory? Well, Simon Gegenheimer, you can never discount him. There's a reason he is our series leader. He's been pushing so well. He scores consistently in every single round in the heat and in the time trial, and all of those points count. Now, who's going to be joining R2 in the final now? Eric Fierro was absolutely flying. He took the win from Bitterbeer, and Bitterbeer beat him this time around. They are 1 and 3 on the line with Anton Oshtam in 2 and Klausman across on the 4th lane. He's rider number 7 in that German uniform. So let's see who's going to take victory. Second of the semi-finals away, Oshtam with a quick start. Klausman doing a very fast start on the left-hand side, but in trouble here. He's been pushed to the outside, and he's not going to get round Oshtam here coming into the first of the waves. In fact, he's getting squeezed towards the side of the barriers. Into the wave ride, into that wall turn, right up and over the top. Higher you go, the more speed you can carry. And around comes Oshtam. So Oshtam leading out, coming up onto the rock garden. Goes a little bit wider than Klausman, who's taking a look on the inside, but you've still got the riders behind her. Look at this. It looks to me like our rider from Ecuador is going to be challenged the other way. We've seen him make a move over the jogger and over the wave ride to try and push up, and it's Klausman who's in trouble here. The German rider has Vieira right on his heels, and Bitterbeer is not out of this. 4 riders still in this race. Bitterbeer kicking hard at the back. He's going up onto the shoulder of Vieira. They can't decide who's going into this feature next. On the right hand side, Vieira's going. This is incredibly close. I'm not sure we can fit them all on the ride around that wall that was just about make it in one piece there. And as they come in to the next of the features, the gap starts to open up, and the battle between Bitterbeer and Vieira is taking both of them out of contention, and it's leaving the way clear at the moment for Oshtam and Klausman at the front of this race to get through. But we've seen people make mistakes. They can't afford to relax too much, so it is at the moment the Swede Anton Oshtam who's going to lead them onto the finishing straight in the red and blue. Behind it's going to be the man in that German national strip. It is going to be Klausman who comes from in second place behind the riders who will be contesting the minor final. And again, Fierro is not giving up until he hits the line. I'm sure he made a move down the side of Bitterbeer coming in. Now watch this start. Fierro didn't get a great start here. Klausman very quick on the left-hand side, pushes the squeeze in and moves into that second place position. And Fierro then was fighting all the way to the finish. And in fact, the battle between him and Bitterbeer taking them out of contention, leaving the way clear for Oshtam, along with Klausman on the way through. Fantastic riding by our riders, and I think one of the men who was fast last week is likely to be that. It's going to be our winner of the heat. It should be Anton Oshtam down with Jan down at the finish.
Anton Oshtam, you're a regular guest here in front of the backdrop these days. You're a regular guest in front of the backdrop these days.
Yeah, it's really nice to
be in front.
Yes, exactly.
And it went okay. You had it under control. After this fast start, very relaxed, pushing hard, but you had it under control.
Yeah, control. I don't know. I push as hard as I can. Hopefully it goes well. So we will see.
Look a bit ahead to this big final. What do you expect?
A number 1 place.
That's the spirit, my friend. Anton Oshtam, back to you, Matt.
Yeah, very good to see that. What do you expect? Well, I want to win, don't they all? That's going to be a real push. Good to see so many spectators out at the side at Valkenswaard. Now, what happens is we move on to our minor finals, the small final, and then the main big finals for both the women and men. So first up will be the women's minor final. That is going to be between 2 riders, Chimène Boer and Lisa Loenga. and that is likely to be a real battle here. Now, both these riders very evenly matched. This is a fight for 5th and 6th places, so we're going to have one winner, one loser. The question is, will we see a track stand, a slow sprint, or will they leave it to the end? Will somebody try and go really early and make this their own? 2 riders, only going to be one winner out of this race, the minor final. So at the moment it looks to me like Schwarzenberg taking the lead. Rider number 5 plate, kicking down hard there with the pink gloves on, with the black gloves on, chasing here. It is going to be Luenga who is trying to keep that gap down. She's got to stay in contention. You don't want to make a move too early. If you overtake too early and then can't defend it, you're going to get overtaken again, and the time will run out to do that. But you need to hold the line, and you are expending more energy. This may not be the road, but the riders at the front are pushing through the air a little bit quicker, and the riders will lay off a little bit as they do on the track just to get that speed in. At the moment, though, it looks to me like Schwarzenberg has saved enough energy to hold off the challenge behind. Both riders getting plenty of air up over the double there as they come around into this left-hand turn that will bring them around. It tightens nastily on the way round. Really a bit of mean course design there onto the finishing straight. And it does mean that if you don't carry that speed around well, it allows the riders behind to close up. And that's exactly what we've seen here with Lisa Luenga closing the gap down, and it looks like she's just pushing on the inside. She's moving up on the left here. She's going to try and go around Schwarzenberg. They're side by side, and it's Bohr who gives way here. But Bohr taking the very tight line there. She didn't have as much speed. She couldn't use the wall ride as much, and that really did slow down the riders as they came around. Now they're carrying less speed up over the obstacles. That makes life harder, particularly when you go to this safety jog step up that comes next. Now Bohr, who led most of the way around, goes on the right hand side. She's going to take the inside if she can drop down well on this double. But look at this, it looks to me like Luenga's not going to let her do that. Schwarzenberg now has it all to do as we come into this final corner. It's a short finishing sprint. She's got to come out of this corner and get the power down quick. She's right on the wheel there. She was bumping the back tyre there of Luenga, but at the moment it's going to be Luenga who takes that victory, and a win is a win. That is going to be great for her morale, and look forward to seeing her in action again. She's certainly put in a fantastic ride there. She sat back, she didn't panic early on. From this start you can see that Schwarzenberg was the rider number 5 there with the pink gloves, who really did put the attack in. She did a great ride there to distance Luenga, but then all of a sudden as we came in towards the back, you saw Luenga move up onto the wall ride and round that corner, and she then was able to hold that into the finish. Great ride, and I think we have a great rider down there as we get it confirmed that Luenga is going to be the rider who takes the victory, and hopefully down with Jan is Lisa.
Well, we have Isa Luenga next to me, and Isa, we saw some very smart racing of you.
Yes, it was my first ever Eliminator, so I didn't know how to race, and it was very hard, and yeah, I don't know, it was really hard.
It was an all Netherlands small final,
yes.
And first round, first lap, I had the impression that you were looking a bit around. What should I do? Should I go over her or should I wait a little bit? Yes. You took the right moment.
I was very insecure because I didn't know if I could pass her by the wall, and yeah, it was possible, and that was how I won this race.
Waiting for the right moment, Matt. That's what it's all about in Eliminator racing. Congratulations, Isa, and see you later. Bye-bye.
Well, for a first race, that is some result coming in and taking away the victory in the minor final, and looks like she's got a bright future. She needs to come and race more often, because great result and great timing to get that wall ride right, saving the energy, using it at the decisive moment and then making it stick. So great to see that happen, and really interesting to see who took away the honours there. Not necessarily what we would have predicted at the start. Now, the men's small final, the minor final. This is the fight for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th places. And of these riders, the third favourite should be Jay Bitterbeer in the black, but he has been beaten twice by the Ecuadorian rider Eric Fierro on his right, our left of the screen. Now they've got the fast starting Quentin Schwarzenberger to deal with, but the fastest off from the gun there looks like it's Anton Birat who's going to lead them into the first of the obstacles. So up onto the wave and then the double at the end. Oh, Anton Orstam having to really concentrate there. The front wheel came down early as he came onto the down ramp, and he managed to control it as he came off and landed that, and at the moment he's opening the gap here, and it looks to be like Anton Birat is going to open clear daylight between him and Quentin Schwarzenberg. Schwarzenberg out the saddle, sprinting into that step up onto the doubles over safely, and at the moment it may well be that Jay Bitterbeer is going to actually get in front of his nemesis here, Eric Fierro. Oh, massive slide out, big slide out, and that is going to hurt. That's not what you want to happen. And that corner, we said it tightened nastily, and that's exactly what happened as it came round. It tightened up, and one slip, one slide, you go from hero to zero. Fortunately, the rider looks like he's all right, much better than the bike, which has to have the bars turned around there. Now, that means he's only going to be getting, say, only 8th place as long as he finishes, and it does mean that the lead has been left a little bit wide open here for Quentin Schwarzenberg, who's up onto the top, quickly flicks the back wheel up and over. Jay Bitterbeer going into that same ascent here, and I think these two riders were able to negotiate that crash. I'm sure we're going to get a look back at it, and it does mean that it's going to be a stroll into the finish. We're going to get a wheelie on the way up. So here we go. Quentin Schwarzenberger goes up, over and across the line. He's going to take the 5th place. It's going to be a 6th place today for Jay Bitterbeer. Bitterbeer coming across for the Belgian squad, and then it's going to be Eric Fierro, who really has acquitted himself well. Now let's keep an eye on this because Schwarzenberger goes well, but the fastest man out on the course, well, it was a fast move here by Anton Birat, but that slide out, I think the clip of the pedal, he tries to correct it. You saw him stamping on the floor, but that slide, just too much momentum. Well, it's okay being quick, but you've got to keep it smooth. And the man who was certainly smoother, making the finish in style, should be our winner. And that is Quentin Schwarzenberger, the man who wheeled across the line in front of Jay Bitterbeer and then Eric Fierro. So, Jay, I think you've got the man with the best wheelie in the business.
Yeah, and at this moment it started pouring rain, so Quentin Schwarzenberger, we're going to let you leave as soon as possible, but what a great race.
Ouais, bah, je suis super content de ma course, je finis 5e, je monte sur le podium, c'est toujours bien, quoi. Je suis fier de moi.
Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé avec le Suédois?
Bah, il est tombé dans le dernier virage avant la ligne d'arrivée, dans le premier tour. J'en ai profité pour attaquer, puis j'ai vu que ça ne suivait pas à l'arrière, et bah, j'en ai profité pour aller chercher la 5e place.
Ok, félicitations, bonne chance dans la prochaine course. So he's very happy with his result, Quentin Schwarzenberg, and he saw the Swedish competitor just before him falling in the last turn, and then the way was open to victory. And I hope we can continue racing, because in the meantime it's really the sky opening here, and it's pouring cats and dogs.
Pouring cats and dogs, that's a proper English statement. English has more words for rain than anywhere else for a reason, because it does indeed rain cats and dogs, but you can see just how heavy it is. And the man who profited from that rain and from that lack of traction was Quentin Schwarzenberg, a man who was very happy with his win. He won't have wanted to take it in the rain, because you never want to see your competitors slide out. You want to beat them fair and square without them having a crash or an incident, but the rain is absolutely throwing it down. Now, does this change the racing? Yep, it certainly does. The riders will have set up for what has been a really nice dry day. It's been great weather, and it means there's loads of grip. The rubber is really sticky. The grip on the surfaces is superb. The wooden features are not greasy. However, the moment it rains, particularly after a dry spell, because we're racing in town, you'll see lots of rubber laid down on the surface from all of the traffic. You'll also see lots of leaves falling, because we're running into the autumn in the fall, into the winter, and that means that it's going to be very difficult to keep the grip, and our riders will be looking at the pressure in the tyres. They'll be looking at what tyre, how much grip they've got. They can't put a wider tyre on at this stage. It's just so close, and you can just see the riders are looking, and big debate there. Do you wear your glasses? Can you see around the corners? Are you going to be able to have vision to see if you get the front wheel jet washing the water straight up into your face? If you get that in your eyes, you're going to lose vision and you're going to be in trouble. So these riders are really going to have to adapt to this. Now, Gaia Tormena has said earlier this season that she loves it when it's dry and she can really throw the bike about. When it gets wet, she's not as happy, and that could play into the hands of Marion Fromberger, who is on the left of your screen. Gaia Tormena in position 2. You've got Ella Holmgaard in 3. And then on the right-hand side, Didi de Vries. De Vries, another very fast ride from De Vries in her heat. So the riders lined up and ready. They're going to go, and this is where the riders have to keep it down. You watch the back tyres, see if anybody's going to be able to power off this line without slipping and sliding. Kick down too hard and you're in trouble. And you can just see it's about getting a quick start and getting the grip. Gaia Tormena leading them out here. Fromberger in the red, right onto her shoulder. You can see Didi de Vries moving up on the left-hand side, and that has pushed Holmgaard into 4th place, much closer now, because nobody could put the afterburners on. They couldn't afford to slip and slide. And Gaia Tormena going really high up that wall. Fromberger underneath, nearly getting clipped by Tormena. She goes down. Tormena picking a wider line. The painted surfaces on the floor are going to be slippier. You're going to find that you need that grip paint. You need something sticky. They've got to keep it rubber side down. They cannot afford to slip slide. If they showboat now, they're in trouble. But if you don't come into things like the doubles with full commitment, you lose time. You can see that between 2nd and 3rd place. Fromberger there committing to it, going over the doubles, really nailing it. Behind, the rider behind just rolling over, and the time gap has opened up across the grates and onto the main finish straight here. Gaia Tormena trying to open the gap, but Fromberger's right on her heels here, behind a real fight between De Vries and Holmgaard here. So Holmgaard in 4th place, De Vries moving up into 3rd, Fromberger right on the heels here of Gaia Tormena. Tormena goes high again, Fromberger takes a low line. They've got to take this right-hand turn. It's a very shallow angle. Anyone who's tried riding up a curve edge at this angle knows just how greasy it is. We've got polished surfaces here in town. But Gaia Tormena is showing that she can ride in the rain as well as in the dry at the moment. Onto the safety jogger step up. I'm almost holding my breath because I don't bear to watch this. It's so greasy and slippery out there. But these are the best riders in the world, and they are showing just how good they are. Now into this corner where we saw that fall in the last race on that tightening turn as they come round. No problems for the front 2 here as they come into the finish, taking the win in round 3, continuing that perfect score. Gaia Tormena comes through the series leader, taking the win from Fromberger, and they fight all the way to the line for 3rd and 4th place. I think it's going to be Holmgaard who's going to have taken that from De Vries, but we will wait for confirmation from the commissaire, the race referees, who will have been watching that very carefully. Let's have a little look back. So from that start, Gaia Tormena really did set a stall out early, with Fromberger starting to go clear. And it was about the ability to go over the features and carry that speed that saw these two go clear. Fromberger almost losing it on the way through, but definitely better than De Vries, who ended up landing actually onto the cobbles on there, up onto the doubles. Again, you can just see Tormena showing what skills she has. The further up the ramp you land on your way down, the faster you can have that speed. Great riding. Gaia Tormena, she's absolutely faultless at the moment, taking that win by a 2.5 seconds nearly from Marion Fromberger. So I think another masterclass from the rider who takes on that series win, Jan.
Gaia Tormena, 1, 2, 3 in the World Cup for you. What were you thinking like 5 minutes before your start of the big final? Jesus Christ, why again here in Valkenswaard?
Thank you very much, I'm very happy about this win. There was no better way to be ready for the World Championships. I don't really like the rain, and it started raining just before our heat, our final. But this year I have this super tire, which are the best choice ever. And so I wasn't scared about rain. And yeah, I made it again. It was a controlled race, always in control because it was easy to crash, and that's what we didn't want. So yeah, a race in control, very happy about this win.
But you were not racing with the brakes on, you were pushing very hard. And unless the rain.
I was pushing very hard in the straight part, and yeah, after I had to control the corners because it was slippery with the rain, of course.
Okay, congratulations. Stay here because we have this flower ceremony immediately going on now. Matt, back to you.
Well, really interesting to hear the faith that Gaia Tormena has in her tyres. And that's absolutely critical because when the conditions change, you have to know that you can plant it and get around those corners. And the three riders who led this out were absolutely flying. So taking third place there, Ella Holmgaard in the blue. Then taking second place at Marianne Fromberger in the red. But the race victor, the series leader, who extends her lead at the top of the series after round number 3. Gaia Tormena from Italy, from Marianne Fromberger. And then Ella Holmgaard taking third place. What a fantastic ride by these riders, showing just why they are the best Eliminator riders in the world, dealing with the conditions without a problem. And that ride by Tormena. Well, if you want to see how to ride fast round town in the rain when there's no grip and trust your equipment, that was it. Brilliant to see just how quickly she got around there, and the rain is absolutely bouncing down. It's proper dreet, as they say up in Glasgow. It's not just a bit of mizzle, it is properly throwing it down, and the riders are going to have to cope with this now. On to the men's, and even the guys holding up the riders are having to have brollies here. This shows you just how wet it is here. Our riders we have lined up here. We've got Anton Olstam, super fast starter on the left-hand side of the screen. The European champion, Jeroen van Eck, in the Netherlands jerseys, as well as the European Champs jersey, second from the left. Then Simon Gegenhammer, the series leader in the UCI XE series, and then super fast starter Felix Klausmann with the German national jersey. So away they go. Who's got the fastest start? It looks like Jeroen van Eck has got a quick start here. Olstam's not giving anything away here. Gegenheimer is behind and has been pushed into third place here. And behind Klausmann, who normally gets a super fast start, just having to take it a little bit easy. You see the pace they're going. They're landing beyond the wooden ramps there, and that is going to cause some problems. If they land on the white painted sections, they've got to come around this corner. They absolutely have to keep the pressure down. You'll see them pushing on the outside pedal to try and keep the weight down. You see Olstam doing that, pushing on the outside pedal, but every time he freewheels and pushes on the pedal for control, he's losing acceleration. It takes time for the pedals to bite. It takes time for that freewheel to grab, and that is costing him time. But the gap hasn't really opened up, and this is gingerly taken around here. You can see the speed is coming off. Now what we're going to find, the speed is going to yo-yo up. It's going to go quick, it's going to go slow in the corner, it's going to go quick, and that concertina effect will favour different riders here. Gegenheimer currently in third place, right on the wheels of Olstam at the moment. They are leaving the gap clear here for Jeroen van Eck. Van Eck now after the first lap with a slight lead on the chase behind, but they know that they can make the move on the next set of features. Into the corner they go, and Olstam now closing on our race leader. He's trying to bring this gap back down around the left turn. This is a big double feature, so into the safety jogger step up, quickly followed by the doubles. Olstam over there safely, all our riders over the jogger safely over the double, and you can just see the difference in speed. That Olstam jumping down onto the flat, into the final corner. Can he make a move as they come into the final turn? No, he can't. He's got to do it in the sprint. Big sprint from Jeroen van Eck, the European champion, leading it out to line and takes victory here. What a ride by Jeroen van Eck. He set that stall out early. You can see Klausmann here. We saw him out of the picture, flat rear tyre, and the pressure that he put on that has taken him into fourth place. But he's going to run to the finish. We love to see this because that shows you just how much it means to the riders. He's going to come in and across the line. And it's so easy to have a problem. Big flat tyre on the back there. Let's watch that back from the start here. Big kick off the line. Olstam on the inside. Not not getting there. And we just saw Klausman, in fact, just miss the pedal. He just unclipped slightly on his way through. That won't have helped him. That put him into that 4th place. But the leader there, Jeroen van Eck, clearing all of these, holding off the challenge from Austin behind. And Simon Geigenheimer still being challenged here by Felix Klausman. Up over the top of the safety joggers, quickly dropping back down again. And quick moves. A big victory there by Jeroen van Eck from Oosdam, and Geigenheimer with Klausman in 4th place. Well, I think we can hear from our winner down there with Jan.
Jeroen van Eck, it was almost as if you were pushing all frustrations of last week out of your legs today.
Well, last week due to the drop chain, I knew I was good, I felt good, and the only thing you can do is give it all again, every heat. The big final, it was pouring rain. I mean, that was even an extra challenge. But yeah, I managed to keep the bike.
Because it was tricky, it was slippery, but you didn't mind at all.
I knew if I could take the lead and I could ride my own lines, it will be hard for those guys to overtake. And I could be as well in control to push where I could and to take it a bit easy where it was sketchy. Yeah, Anton came close, but I knew I had to pull the door closed in the last corner, and therefore I lost some speed. So I knew I had to accelerate hard, and I did so.
Okay, enjoy the victory. Stay here for the flower ceremony, and for sure we'll see you in the next race. Thank you, Jeroen van Eck. Matt, back to you for the flower ceremony.
Indeed, fantastic riding by Jeroen van Eck, and definitely taking revenge for what was a bad day at the office a week ago. This time around underneath the Church of Stateless here in Valkenswaard. Great racing with the series leader only taking 3rd place here. Simon Geigenheimer in that leader's jersey goes on to the stage, followed by our 2nd place rider, Anton Oosdam from Sweden. But the race winner, the European champion, the man who really did sweep all before him, Jeroen van Eck, coming in and taking the victory. That's your 1, 2, 3 here at the 3rd round of the UCI Mountain Bike Eliminator World Cup from Valkenswaard. We have a gap of 2 weeks, and then we will be heading back to the Eliminator with the Eliminator World Championships, and that's going to be on the 5th of September, and then we're back with the World Cup on the 12th of September. So lots more great racing to come. Hopefully it's going to match the speed, the pace, and hopefully all of our riders will keep it rubber side down and be able to get the results they deserve. It shows you just how tricky it is when the rain comes down. Fantastic riding by all of the competitors here today at the Valkenswaard in incredibly tough conditions, and as you can see, very, very wet. The streets still shiny with that rain. We're going to move on to the following rounds, and we really are looking forward to seeing what happens with these competitors. So the European champion has taken victory in the men's and the women's races. From me, Matt Payne, live from Valkenswaard. Enjoy. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Okay, Jan, do you get me?